Good day, everybody. So today I'm going to try doing my first how-to video. And for my first how-to video, we're going to be installing these guys. These are the ZL1 side skirt extensions with the rock guards. So we're going to be installing these on my 2016 Mustang. This car is something like probably 85% track use, and the rest of the time it gets driven a little bit of street use for, cars and coffee, whatever, and then driving back and forth to the track. So mileage may vary. I don't have any idea if these rock guards actually do anything, or the side skirt extensions, I should say, do anything as far as providing better aero or anything like that, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So ZL1 makes tremendous products, but their installation instructions really are lacking. I was installing the front canards right there, and it was like all of a sudden, use a riv nut tool. And I'm like, oh yeah, because everybody has a riv nut tool laying around. But that's literally, that right there is the instructions. And there's rivets and all kinds of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. And you might say, Rich, you have this awesome lift. Why is the car not up on the lift? Why are you working on the ground? And that's because the lift arm is going to go under the side of the car right there, exactly where the side skirt extension wants to be. So I'm going to go ahead and be working on a floor jack. I am fat and middle-aged, so if you hear a lot of heavy breathing from some middle-aged dude and that's not your thing, I don't want to hear you complain about it. Or you can subscribe to my OnlyFans if that is your thing. So the kit comes from, comes with a bunch of rivets, and then some nuts and bolts. The rivets are used to rivet these guys to the end of the side skirt extensions and then to rivet them into the underside of the car. So we're gonna give this a shot. Typical fashion, I could try doing this all live and bumblefuck my way through it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do one side and then come back and show you how to do the other side. Because while I am a moron, I don't need to advertise that on the internet. So let's give the first side a shot and we can show you the finished product and then start on the other side and show you how we get there. Okay, so I did the passenger side and I thought I might show you what it looks like before we start on this side, but I'm not, because I'm crafty and I'm told from the YouTubes that's how you get videos, is save the money shot till the end. So I'm gonna start by jacking this thing up and getting the front wheel off. I'm not gonna show you how to jack up a car and take the front wheel off, because if you need to know how to do that, you should probably not be watching this video, and you probably shouldn't be working on your car at this point. Maybe you need a little bit of a helping hand. Okay, so car's in the air, wheel is off. When I bought, I think I mentioned earlier, when I bought the side skirt extensions, I didn't realize I bought the ones with rock guards. And I had previously installed these ZL1 rock guards, so I'm going to go ahead and take these off. It's just pop these 3 pins out and then peel it off. It's just double stick tape. Of course, if it's like the other side, then I'm going to have to sit here with some adhesive remover and get the double stick tape off. So let me do that real quick and come back. All right, so we got that guy off. That edge is all clean. Spend the time using some adhesive remover. They tell you isopropyl alcohol, cleaning this edge right here, because the rock guard is just going to double stick tape up top to that, so you want that stuff to adhere really good. So over here I have here's the side skirt extension along with the rock guard. There's a couple of ways you can affix these to the vehicle. So you can either use these rivets that they provide, or you can screw it in. So knowing myself, knowing that at some point I will most likely have a situation where I'm on track and I completely run out of talent, causing me to go off track and rip the side skirt extension off the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and start with screws. That way when I rip it off, I can pop rivet it on later after it's been torn out and all the screw holes are mangled. So So that's where that's why I'm going to go with the screws. Now, you have to start by affixing this guy to here. It's kind of hard to see. See, you've got tiny little screws in there, and you've got little matching screw holes there, and they give you these itty bitty guys right here that affix to them. So we're going to start by just screwing those in. Okay, so they provide you these little screws, and you can screw that guy on there. A couple of things of note. So there is, originally I thought there was a left side and a right side on the side skirter extension, because if you look at these holes, they are countersunk on this side. So I thought, oh, that side must go down. But no, they're both sides are identical. It's probably just because of the manufacturing process. It would be nice if they had a left and a right side and had the holes countersunk, but I understand why they don't. So another thing was these little screws right here, the holes were not punched all the way through the plastic on this one. So I've had this with a little bit with ZL1, some manufacturing, little details that, I hate to bash them because these are like super heavy duty and all is cool, but it's those little things that kind of frustrate you sometimes. My other buddy had to send back one of his mounts because he got a tow hook mount and it just looked really bad. The welding on it was real poor, but they immediately warrantied it and stuff, so they're really quick to respond. So just there's no left and right on these, and then this guy just screws in here. So next step is, now that we've got this guy screwed together, is we're going to start fitting it to the car. Okay, so here we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift this guy up into place. We're going to put in the 3 push pin fasteners that go right there, and then that will hold this, allow us to stick the adhesive here, and then line this guy up and shoot in the rest of the screws. So the instructions were awful. So when I read them, it made this sound like, I don't know, maybe I built it up and made it to be a bigger deal than it was, but it's fairly straightforward. So I would try and show you how I'm going to do this, but I'm the one-handed cameraman. You'd think I'd invest in a tripod, but so that guy goes there, and we'll show you in just a second. Okay, so we've got it fitted right there, and it's just hanging. You can see it's all flexing. So you're gonna now pull this tape off the back here and then press this guy into place. We're gonna start at the bottom. So and they tell you to start peeling the tape before you affix the push pin. So you can see, whoop, almost dropped the camera. You can see that I had started pulling, and really what you want is you just want this edge of the tape right here to be kind of with the edge of the body. So I'm just gonna slowly focus, kind of press this into the body, making sure that edge stays pretty good. You gotta push it in a little bit there. There we go. Okay. So we're just gonna make sure that guy's affixed. So there we go. We got that part done. So next part is to screw this guy in. Now, originally I thought maybe they used some pre-existing screw holes or something like that. No, they don't actually. This guy just screws right into your factory air dam from underneath. I don't know how I feel about that. On the other side, there's like 10 screws that hold it on, and 2 of the screws didn't line up with anything. So if you, let me get down on the ground here. If you look them here, you see how you've got these holes up here where your, like little gaps where your pinch weld is. Like a couple of these screw holes lined up with those, so there was no thing for them to screw into. And it's like, come on, ZL1, like, what are you doing? So I'm gonna hold it up there and put a front one in. This one right here, and again, it just screws into the plastic with these provided screws. I'm going to screw that one in, and then I'm going to put a measuring tape up here, make sure that I've got the distance right, and I'll show you that. And screw a back one in and then shoot the rest in. You know, shoot the front one in and the back one in to keep it aligned. So let me screw this front one in. Okay, so I screwed this front screw in right here, and I've just got a jack up here to hold this so that I can hold the camera. Really, the only thing that I'm concerned about is getting this distance right here consistent. Now, it looks like it's going to fit exactly the same as the other side. Remember, this is one of those old school car tricks, hot rodding tricks, is that you can't see both sides of the car at the same time. So if they're a little tiny bit off, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like, if nobody's going to know that there's an 1/8 inch difference between the passenger side and the driver's side, unless you're like me and somebody says, hey, those are really nice, and I'll say, great, thanks. There's an 1/8 inch difference between the two sides, because I feel a need to point out all my shortcomings and flaws. So so you can see here where that edge breaks over, we'll call it, 2 and 1/8. So we want to kind of make it match back here, and shockingly, we're pretty close. So that's hard to see, and I'm holding the camera crooked. Yeah, so we're like really close. So now it's just a matter of zipping in these screws, so you can see down here, and I'm just going to use my handy dandy drill with a short bit. Make sure you get your car up high enough off the ground so that you can screw those in. So I've got one here, here, and then I'm going to go down and shoot these in again. They're just going to literally bite into the plastic. They're just going to pull up and bite into the plastic of this air dam. That's all they're going to do. So, but it seems to be pretty sturdy. The other side seems pretty sturdy. So let me shoot those screws in and get back to you. Let me try and shoot one of these going in. Just like that, like 10 of those bastards. Don't over tighten them. They're just going into plastic, so you can strip them out really easily. It doesn't seem very strong, but again, you've got 10 of these things holding stuff together. So this is what I was talking about earlier. So these two right here, you can see them. Like, there is nothing behind there for them to bite onto. And that, I find that really annoying. Like, they could have drilled these in a different spot, and maybe it has to do with different versions of Mustang, but yeah, that annoys me. I mean, the good thing is, oh, I missed one right there. I gotta screw that one in. The good thing is that all the ones on the outer edge bite in, and I'm thinking that most of the stress is gonna be pulling down on here, which means these are gonna be leverage points for it to push up here. And if I do have something from here, it's probably not gonna pull down. It's probably gonna be an impact from that way. So I think we're gonna be okay, and it feels really sturdy. Like, if I bang on it, like, it's not going anywhere for a piece of plastic. So I think it's okay. All right, so there it is installed. So again, I find those two little screws annoying. There was the back hole, the very back hole on this one wasn't punched all the way through. And when I say wasn't, like, it barely had like a little thin skin of plastic over the hole, but if I didn't look, I could have missed putting a screw in there. Again, little things, but for the price, I don't remember what this was. The set was like $100. I mean, it's good. I don't want to bash them too badly, but I think it's going to be okay. So let me put a tire on here and put it on the ground, and you can see what it looks like. And there we go. So there they are. You can see kind of how they fit. These are aftermarket as well. These are also ZL1. These little front canards off the GT500. But there you go. And I'm pretty pleased with how that looks. It's not horribly obvious what's going on there. You might ask why put mud flaps, effectively mud flaps on your Mustang. That's some serious hillbilly shit. But I mentioned earlier, this car is primarily a track car. So these wheel and tire setup is my street setup, which is 19.5 plus 35. So there's a little bit of poke. You can especially see it on the rear. There's a little bit of poke, but not a whole lot. But when I throw these guys on there, and these are 19 by 11s, with, these are a 305, those are a 275. They poke quite a bit. And part of the problem with the poke is they sling rubber all over the side of the car, really bad on the track. So you get lots of rubber marks, lots of scratches, nicks and stuff. You can even see some rubber marks that I forgot to clean off down there a little bit. So that's the main reason I wanted to rub them. You can see I also have their little flaps in the rear. These guys right here. Whoops, right here. With the hopes that that will save my paint a little bit, because if you know anything about Ford and their newer vehicles, their paint is complete soft, powdery dog shit. It's soft as hell, man. It just nicks and chips and scratches super easily. So don't know yet if I like them or not. Maybe I'll show. I was thinking about doing a fitment video because I've got so many different sets of wheels and tires for this car, just showing how, because that seems to be one of the big questions that people always have. But so there you go. ZL1, your instructions are garbage. Please work on that, because I do enjoy your products. For example, it came with these right here, tension clips. It says, if you look at the bill of materials or in the box, it says tension clips. Nowhere in the instructions does it mention where those tension clips go. So that's just a perfect example of, hey, we're gonna give you instructions, but not really. So if anybody knows, please comment below. If anybody knows where those tension clips go, because they probably should be installed. I just have no idea where they actually go. So there you go, ZL1 side skirt extensions with the rock guards for 2015 through 2017 Mustang. Good luck, and let me know how your install goes.